welcome to StephanieLodge.com. I'm Stephanie Lodge, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to who I am, what I do, and why you might be here. Let's start with the fact that what I teach is not for everybody. I would have to say that I've been accused of being otherworldly, if you want to call that an accusation, but I teach spiritual technologies and intuitive enhancements that essentially are designed to upgrade your current operating system, or what I call your angelic IQ. This is the intelligent quotient that we all have within us and around us that is essentially electromagnetic light, that is conscious, intelligent, and always flowing to us and through us as us in every way. So understand that what I teach as my spiritual toolbox, different variations of essentially practices, what I like to call the angelic arts side of things, these practices are designed to give you practical application and things you can work with regularly to optimize and align your specific light field or light being. And really it's based on angelic sciences that go back quite a ways. I would say they would be known as your Ancient Angelology. And this is based in what you would call ancient light language, that eventually became a lot of what people understand as Essenian Kabbalism. The Essenes were a very sacred group that traveled during the times of Yeshua ben Joseph, or Jesus, as some of you may know him. And Jesus, in fact, was a Kabbalist. He was a rabbi, and he was a master teacher of Ancient Angelology. So what I teach is essentially all based on my own personal recall, my spiritual recall of having had past lives walking with Yeshua. We call him Emmanuel as well. And so understand that for me personally, this is my understanding, my truth, based on eons of study, I suppose, through my incarnations over many lifetimes. And I've become adept at certain skills of working with electromagnetic light because I have worked for it for many, with it, I should say, for many lifetimes. So understand this isn't something that you will find necessarily everywhere on the internet. If you're looking around for things on angels, this is definitely not your norm. I definitely am outside of that box. But what I understand angels to be really are holographic light forms or light beings that are created from our interaction with what I call the angelic light stream. And the angelic light stream you can think of as all conscious thought and electromagnetic light that travels within the multiverse, all around us, through us, and as us, as I mentioned earlier. And it's intelligence, it is this consciousness, it is transformative if we direct it to be so, and it essentially is our playground. It is the consciousness that we download from and get inspired by. It is the consciousness that we upload to and give intelligence to and constantly expand through our personal life experiences. So it's extremely interactive. You can almost think of it as a living internet, if you will, that is constantly expanding its web pages through the experiences that people are sharing with it. This light stream, some may also call the universal mind of God. It has many names. The reason that I call it angelic is that for me, angelic is really understanding the divine intelligence and wisdom to it, the sacred geometry involved in creating forms within the light itself. It is light language, if you will, that can be decoded, can be downloaded as we connect to it through our conscious mind and our own personal awareness and application of our thought consciousness. And so when we connect to it, it's called, in my, kind of vernacular, angelic light streaming, or just simply light streaming. And how this is different from, let's say, being a medium and a channel is very slight. With a medium, oftentimes there is a concerted effort to sit quietly, connect, go into meditation, breathe deeply, and connect up into a system of intelligence, and then pull that intelligence within the body and either be a conscious channel where one is fully awake and understanding everything coming through, or being a trance channel, which means you kind of put your consciousness on the back burner and allow a higher consciousness to come through you. Often your higher self, sometimes other beings of light, but either way, streaming is a much more automatic place to be. It is where we're going in terms of our consciousness being always switched on, being claircognizant, which means we just know things without knowing how we know them, and having that intuitive storyteller be able to just speak automatically without really having to set that intention even. Just answering questions loosely and suddenly finding yourself streaming automatically all sorts of information. And this is the difference. It's essentially having that satellite dish, if you will, always turned on and ready and prepared to get information, and not having to tune in like a radio or tune in, to a specific channel like you were, changing the channel on your television. It's just automatic. It's always there. So that's the only real difference. I would say we're moving away from having to be trans channels so much as being able to be conscious channels, because we are elevating our frequency to be able to manage that more effectively now. That doesn't mean you won't still have traditional trans channels walking the planet, because that's what they were trained in originally and that's what they're comfortable with. But as younger generations come in, you will find that they will be automatically connected, kind of what I call firewired in, just hardwired into this process. And so that's what I'm kind of teaching people to catch up to, for those who are interested, is how do we automatically light stream? And what I teach through what I call my Angelic IQ program is also something called Angelic Light Alchemy. Now, Angelic Light Alchemy, you could say, is really learning how to direct light language, learning how to direct this light stream to work for you in different capacities, to be able to, create what you desire in your life by creating constructs, or what I call lattices of light. And these lattices, essentially, you can think of as sacred geometric forms. I essentially usually only use the diamond as the sacred form because I find it is the easiest one for people to truly relate to and understand. And it's essentially just as effective as if you were to create a Metatronic cube or any of the other sacred geometric shapes to connect into the light stream. Now, how does this work? I mean, if light streaming is supposed to be so automatic, well, again, downloading from the light stream, you have a system within you that will automatically decode that light language and pull it in. Some people actually can speak light language in its original form, meaning from other planetary systems, other places of existence where this language is essentially vibrationally different than what we speak here in our languages on this planet. But ultimately, it's not about really the word frequency itself. The word frequency itself obviously has a certain vibration and beauty to it, and you can listen to light language and just feel the energy coming from it, and it's always a beautiful experience. But I find that if we're really tapping into the intelligence, it's important to understand what the language is saying. And so many of us who stream, we just pull that light language in and decode it immediately into our own mother tongue, whatever that is, whatever we're comfortable with. And this, again, is a very automatic process. But now to go the other direction and to want to speak to the angelic light stream and give it some direction as to the things that we desire to magnetize into our life. Some of this would be referred to as your law of attraction work or master manifestation work. It's important to essentially upload or give direction in the language of light. And so how do we do that? I teach a process called, again, Diamond Light Language. We build what we would call a Diamond Light lattice. And the Diamond Light stream, which many people are starting to discover more and more, is really the entirety of light, electromagnetic light, within the universe of Source. So it is the light of God. It is the light of Source. It is both the unmanifest and the manifest light. That means it is both the visible and invisible spectrums of light. So it includes all of the energies of force that would be qualified as electromagnetic and light. Now, having said that, when we speak into the light stream, it is really important, in my opinion, to speak its language. And so I find that the diamond serves this beautifully because it is putting language of light into a specific light form or construct. You can think of this as a hologram. You can think of this as a thought form, if you're into thought form energies. But fundamentally, it's an intention. It is a desire, and it is focused and intense when we decide to put it within a sacred geometric structure such as the diamond. So this is part of what I teach as my Angelic Light Alchemy teachings, which are part of my Angelic IQ program. It's all about mastering attuning to the light stream, speaking to the light stream, getting information from the light stream, as well as running certain frequencies of the light stream through the body and activating and releasing and revealing those areas of static or distortion within our fields that we would like to transmute and transform. And I also teach how to shield utilizing angelic light. I also teach what I call angelic attunements. Some might call these like mantras or sound vibrations that we can tone out loud. We can also just do them within the mind and almost have a transcendental meditation experience with them. And what this does is it really attunes us specifically to a desired aspect of the light stream. So if you think of the light stream as kind of a coaxial cable in this case, and it contains all these little threads of fiber optics, just individual threads, and each thread might be a different color. So one might be the violet light stream, one might be the emerald light stream, the sapphire light stream, or indigo light stream as I like to call it. You have different threads of color. The ultraviolet, the platinum, I mean there's infinite amounts of color really truly. But let's just say it's the violet light stream and you want to tune into that, then there will be an attunement, a word that will tune you into that frequency. And so I teach people how to connect to different names of angels, angelic names that have come in from the times of the ancient Egyptians and even prior to that. And they eventually became what are known as the 72 names of angels. Some know them as the 72 names of God in the traditional Kabbalah sense. But Kabbalah, for me, is definitely a system that is a technology that you can use and work with. It can be quite complicated for many. So what I teach is kind of the basic understandings that really get the job done, the practicals. You can go really deep with it. I choose not to. I choose to create it in a broader brushstroke in order for people to really be able to tune in and understand things and relate to them in a practical way that they can fit within their lifestyle. Because I find that unless you're going to get really deep with it and that's going to become, part of your life, Kabbalah is, very consuming, I would say, or time consuming, and it's a commitment. And not everybody has the time to make a commitment like that. We have moms and dads just trying to get the bills paid, and they're not going to be able to do that. So what I've done as somebody who's studied many mysteries, in many teachings is I've taken the best of the best and what I understand them to be, combined them with what I've learned through my own intuitive light streaming process and my guidance systems. Some might call these the angels. And I've compiled it into a program that is very practical, very clear, and direct in its practice. Okay, so again, it's the angelic arts that I say are always those practices that we must do ourselves. It's the work within that you must do and you must do alone. I can't help you with that. I can only teach you what I call the angelic sciences, in this case angelic light alchemy being one of them, in order for you to have a foundational understanding of what you're doing, so then you can apply that through your art, through your practice. And so if I would to say that your life experience, is the canvas, right, then your practice, your art, is really all you do with your paintbrush, everything that you have to do. But what I'm doing is providing the paint. I'm providing the colors that you can choose from and all the different things you can use to create your art. So that's how I kind of see this, is that we are the architects and designers and artists of our life experience. Everything that we experience, we create. And we create it not only with our thoughts and our emotions, which of course is part of what I teach as Angelic Light Alchemy, is how we take those thoughts and emotions and combine them and create them into light and put them into the stream. But we really create it through more even deeply our beliefs. How do we trust? Where do we really find our peace? How do we relate to people? The experiences themselves will oftentimes give us tools to work with to continue our own process of elevation. So there's a lot going on in this life. It's not just cookie cutter, simple aspects, but what I do know is when we start claiming our authority of what we allow within our kingdom, within our dominion, within our angelic light field, which is what I like to call it, our space, essentially, our energetic space, what we claim within us and within that space, we're responsible for and we're accountable for. So every single thought we have and everything we say to ourselves and to others is a claim, in a sense. Now, there are many tools, there are many opportunities here for you to discover how to work with your thoughts, how to work with your emotions, how to overcome certain things that might be holding you back in your life. And that's really where the Angelic Light Alchemy is powerful, because it's about the transformation. It's about transforming consciousness. And it's learning to work with the universal consciousness to assist you in your own personal self-awareness and self-realization or enlightenment consciousness. And so the other program that I would say is a sub-program of my Angelic IQ is Halonetics. And Halonetics is really a healing system. It is a healing system designed for the self, and it is also a healing system designed for others. And so as we move through Angelic Light Alchemy and master that, become little Angelic Light masters, we can step into now Halonetics. And Halonetics was gifted to me in 2010 by the Violet Light Stream, or Archangel Zadkiel, for those of you who like to work with the traditional angel names. And Zadkiel really explained to me that it was halo, or harmonic alignment, light being optimization, that was what we were here to do. We are bringing ourselves into harmonic alignment and resonance with each other and the universe. And the light being optimization, sometimes called light body optimization, to give you kind of a tangible of who you are, it's really about anchoring in as much light within yourself as possible. And when we do this, we are expanding ourselves and optimizing ourselves to that higher vibration of light. And in doing that, we are literally ascending and assisting in the ascension of this planet. Many people ask me, well, what about ascension? I want to ascend. Like, how do I do this? And I said, it's not about ascending off the planet like many have proposed. To me, it's really about bringing more and more light into the planet and allowing us as a collective to rise into another frequency of consciousness so that we are living in a peaceful time. We are living without war. We are living with love on every level and unconditional love in relationships. It's living in a place where we are just highly evolved beings benefiting from the life that we're able to have and discover here through our experiences, because life experience is the engine or the generator that keeps this universe expanding constantly into a new version of itself. So for us to just simply check out and ascend off and go somewhere else, we're not really doing the job. That's not what we're here to do. We are here to be the ground crew. We are here to come in and assist, especially if you're listening to this. You are what many would call a light worker. I like to call us light surfers because we're just going with the flow and being in allowance and surrender all the time if we're truly doing the work. And so as we surf this light stream, as we surf into our next highest potential, when we optimize that light within us and we really become self-aware and know who we are and know what we are and know how we serve this planet as a collective force, and we work with each other and not against each other, and we come from a place of collective collaboration and not competition, as a good friend of mine has really brought to my attention, we start to ascend as a whole, as a collective. We rise. And so it's not about individuals anymore, guys. It's not about finding a guru or somebody to worship outside of you. It's about going within, doing the work within, and becoming the healer within and healing self. And then when you really learn all of that process of connecting to who you really are as a beautiful angelic light being, you become what I call an awakened angel. You become literally a vehicle of light that goes around, and your field affects all the other fields of everyone around you. You can think of fields as kind of like an energetic exchange happening. If you think of your cell phones with that Bluetooth technology, and you can bump the cell phones together and they exchange information, if you know about that, it's the same idea with your field. Your field coming in contact with somebody else is swapping codes, light codes of information. And so both of you are benefiting just by being in each other's presence. This is why the masters have always said whenever two are collected and they pray together, right, it enhances that prayer. Well, prayer to me is really affirmative intention. It is what we desire to put out there to create and be the master creators, or you know, the microcosm of the macrocosm of God. You know, we're gods in action. We are source manifest. We are here on this planet as source to come in and do the work. And so for me, I'm just here not to be somebody to treat as a guru. You know, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to heal you by teaching you how to heal self. So true healers don't just lay their hands on you and send you on your way, charge you up and send you on your way for you to have to come back and rely on them a few weeks later. To me, true healers are teaching you how to heal self. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you tools that you can use. I'm here to give you understanding and foundational teachings that make sense, hopefully, to where you are going and what you are trying to accomplish in your life and what you are looking to create as a creative being, and all of those things. I simply want to assist you in your process and give you tangibles that will assist you in that process. So this is a little bit about who I am. This is a little bit of an overview of what I teach, what I do here at stephanielodge.com. And I'm so glad that you've taken the time to just get to know me a little bit, because it's a lot, you know. It's hard to explain to people just by having them come to my website and explore. I found that really explaining it from the heart, spontaneously, without a script, just sitting here and speaking from my heart and telling you how I feel about what I do and the passion that I have for it, was the most important thing I could share. Because in being that authentic teacher, you know, being really stepped into my purpose and knowing who I am, I feel that I demonstrate the potential for all to step into their purpose and be who they are. And you may be a teacher yourself. You may be a healer of some kind. You may be simply seeking, an understanding of who and what you are. And so I'm just here to give you a little more light along that path. And hopefully you'll discover a little bit more about yourself. And that's the best that I can offer here today, is just knowing who you are, knowing that at the energetic blueprint, you are an angelic light being. You are a being that has a divine purpose, that has that intelligence and that wisdom within. That's what angelic means to me. So it's not about wings and halos and all that warm and fuzzy stuff, which of course is so much fun. It's really about understanding our own true divinity within. And sometimes it's hard to grasp, the concept of we're God, right? Or we're universal consciousness. It's so broad, it's so big, Sometimes it's just like, okay, let's just step it down and really just relate to that divine being within. And sometimes angels serve as a really great component of that, just to kind of imagine us, in that lightness. It's a lot easier sometimes to relate to. So I call it being an awakened angel because when we are aware of our divinity within, we then can activate and shine our light to others to do the same. So it's something we just continue to pass on, and it's something that we continue to share in love and in service to each other, because that's really what we're here to do. If we are not in service, we will never really truly find the happiness that we desire, because if it's all about self, and it's all about what I call self-service, or some might call it selfishness, then no matter how much we find in the physical world to try to validate us, it's always feeding what I call the physical self-image, the aspect of us that is seeking to feel whole through the type of cars we drive, the houses we own, what we accomplish, the degrees we have, our SAT scores, the clothing we wear, all of it, right? The jewelry, all these things, these material aspects. But the true spiritual self-image, that intuitive knowledge within that feeds our soul and knows who we are and loves us unconditionally always, no matter who is loving us externally or what is showing up externally to make us feel whole or complete, we are already complete. We are already whole, just within our very soul, our essence, our seed, that within us at the heart level, the fact that we're just here breathing is enough. So this is what I know. And I'm so grateful for you to visit me here. I'm so grateful you've taken the time. My name is Stephanie Lodge. I would love to be in service in any way that I can to help you find your path and awaken the angel within. Welcome. Please explore the site as much as you'd like and get in touch. I definitely offer different programs for what I call Angelic Light coaching, and definitely check out my radio show. I have a lot of archives of Angels in the Buff, which is my original radio show. I also have Awakened Angel, which is a podcast. So yeah, Awaken Angels, man, that's what I'm all about. So I love you, I care for you, I really do, and I just want to see you shine. So be brilliant and be brave, and we'll talk soon, hopefully. Much love.